Two things. One, this flashlight materialized out of thin air, seeing as how it just appeared in her hand in between two shots of her taking photos. And two, why the hell does she have this flashlight out to begin with? Yeah, it might be a bit dark in there, but she's taking photos with her flash on. Weeping angel? Shouldn't that be plural? You know, since it's more than just one angel? Dramatic music gets undercut by a musical note straight out of a 60s sci-fi show like Lost in Space. Or, well, Doctor Who. Oh. Still, one sin for an out-of-place note. So, this is a beautiful shot, gripping reveal, but how the ever-loving crap was the Doctor able to time exactly when Sally would tear the wallpaper? You might argue that it's because later Sally wrote this all down, but then that's a paradox of having to tell the past Doctor what to write in the future. I know. Wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Also, who threw that rock? It couldn't have been the angel. That isn't part of their MO. They're supposed to be more of a sneak up and touch you type threat. Also, Sally sure does blink and have her back turned towards this angel an awful lot for it to not have already displaced her in time and space.
Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead.
See? According to the Doctor, Sally should not have been able to leave the creepy old house.
Don't turn your...
This is a crap ton of variously sized TVs. Why would Kathy have so many TVs in her home? Unless, of course, her brother brought them all over from his work. In any case, this is at least 5 TVs too many for anyone to watch a bunch of DVD Easter eggs, even if they all star David Tennant. Kathy's brother Larry walks around naked in his sister's home at 1 a.m., and all of a sudden I am much more worried about this brother-sister relationship.
What's good about sad? It's happy for deep people.
As pretty as that sounds, no. Sad is not happy for deep people. I understand what you were going for, and I appreciate the poetic flourish, but at best, somber is happy for deep people.
Smooth.
Yeah, but like what? 5 feet in 10 hours? I thought weeping angels are supposed to be faster than you can imagine. I guess the Doctor imagined them as completely still? In the opening scene, we saw that 1969 was faded by time, but here it looks as though it has been touched up, presumably by one of these slow-as-sludge angels. More importantly, how did he get there? Are we supposed to assume that Kathy's grandson climbed over the gated fence? I guess trespassing runs in the family. Why does this Daniel Craig look-alike give me a serious serial killer vibe?
I was told to bring this letter on this date at this exact time to Sally Sparrow.
And yet you were surprised to find her here? Why even bother coming all this way if you didn't believe your grandmother? And I know they make some weak deathbed excuse, but honestly, if he didn't expect to actually meet Sally here, why did he come? What the hell was that noise? Did a weeping angel just slam down the hood of its '96 Ford Ranger? This weeping, well, more like gasping, angel is currently unseen, and yet it does not move.
Who's it from?
Well, that's a long story, actually.
In no way is the answer to Sally's question a long story. Awfully nice of the weeping angels to send Kathy to just the right place and time to find true love. What are these, stone cupids? Good a time as any to mention that Moffat rips off the friend who just went into the past perfectly timed the delivery of a heartfelt letter scene from Back to the Future Part 2. And it's still just as implausible.
For me, it has been over 60 years.
60 years? And Kathy remembered at what time she disappeared down to the minute? Here, we see the TARDIS keys wrapped around the hand of the weeping angel. But then here, we see that the keys are not looped around the angel's hand. And then again, like magic, they are looped once more. Dick move of this weeping angel to look directly at its brethren. Okay, so up until now, we haven't had proof that the angels were actively trying to displace Sally. But now we see this angel clearly reaching out in an attempt to touch her. But my question is, who is looking at this angel right now to stop it from moving? I swear, Moffat cared more about aesthetics than actually following his own rules. Honestly, I could send the next 20 or so seconds of this episode simply because none of these angels go after Sally to retrieve the key. So I will. I guess after all that, it would be silly to ask how it is that the angels collaborate in never looking at each other, but I'm still gonna send it.
Yeah.
You going to stop following me?
No, I don't think so.
Take notes. Stalking is the quickest way into a girl's heart. Whoa there, what has a cow ever done to you? Well, hello there, weeping angel that has no reason to be in stone form right now. What are you doing here? This sign is missing an Oxford comma. With this kind of customer service, it's amazing the store is still in business.
Pause then keeps slipping. Stupid.
Do pause buttons slip? Is that a thing? Because let me tell you, I have never heard of that before. Oh, so now the angels move fast. Why? Fortunately for Sally, Billy's insta-boner is gonna advance the plot here, even though he is probably neglecting important police work because of it.
The phone is just a dummy and the windows are the wrong size.
I get that the TARDIS is permanently stuck looking like a police box from the 1960s, and that this is part of the Doctor Who mythos, as well as a kind of a running gag. But how did the TARDIS get the size of the windows wrong when it first disguised itself as a police box? And yet another excellent example of the angels waiting for no apparent reason. Billy can't see all of them right now. Out of all the ridiculous and unbelievable scenarios that this episode poses, this one takes the cake. There is no possible way that a group of stone angels carried a large phone box out of a police station and out of London without being seen. That's stupid. Halfway through the episode is as good a time as any to give the audience an info dump, I guess. You know, because it would have sucked to slowly uncover all this information throughout the events of the episode.
So you can boil an egg at 30 paces. Whether you wanted to or not, actually, so I've learned to stay away from hens. It's not pretty when they blow.
The Doctor is a dick to hens.
You told me all those years ago that we'll only meet again this one time.
Exposition, exposition. Exposition squared?
You live in Scooby-Doo's house.
For God's sake, I don't live here.
Then why are you meeting here?
We're stuck. All the space and time he promised me. Now I've got a job in a shop. I've got to support him. Martha?
The Doctor is a lazy bum to Martha, but I guess that's nothing new.
Conversation. Wait until this hits the net. This will explode the egg for him.
What is it about this episode and exploding eggs?
Don't take your eyes off that.
Okay, I know I've harped a lot about the inconsistencies of the angels' actions this whole episode, but this scene right here is why. This climactic finale, where our fear of the weeping angels is supposed to have reached its peak, is completely undermined by all the inaccuracies we have seen up until this point. Even more, all of the logical flaws of the episode culminate in this climax. From the various speeds at which we are shown that the angels can move, to the fact that the angels didn't sneak up on Sally and Larry the entire time the Doctor was talking, to the fact that the angels look at each other multiple times. Plus 5 sins for a poorly thought out climax. Is it even worth asking why it is that the angels brought the police box to the cellar? No? I thought so.
They're looking at each other. They're never gonna move again.
Well, no. Don't they just have to wait until the lights turn off? I mean, that's the only way they were able to shake the TARDIS to begin with. And why did the angels lose their ability to turn off the lights? So, I was originally gonna sin this for showing us the image of an angel. And then the thought occurred to me that maybe these photos are how the Doctor eventually gets touched by an angel. And you know what? That's pretty clever if it's true. One sin off.
Things. Well, 4 things and a lizard.
Pretty sure a lizard would just count as a 5th thing.
Sparrow and nightingale. That so works.